I still have some charcoal in the kettle going after a cook, so we're gonna make some banana bread pudding out on the kettle. Bread pudding is such an easy dessert to make on the grill. You just need some leftover things that you might not be using anyway. I have a loaf of bread here that, I bought, ended up not using. It's gonna start going bad in a couple days, so it's gonna get turned into bread pudding. Now we're gonna start by just taking this and tearing these pieces into smaller bits. I don't take the crust off or anything. And once I've got them ripped up, I just throw them into a big bowl. And that's the process of preparing the bread, tearing it. Take out your aggression on it. Although if you've just grilled up something and you've, had a good day at the grill, what would you be aggressive about? Think about running out of charcoal. Maybe that'll get you aggressive. And this doesn't have to be any uniform shape because this is all going to get kind of mushed down once we get our custard mixture on it. Now, I guess if you wanted to get fancy and make them all the same size, you could, but why? This is supposed to be an easy thing you're throwing together after grilling something. You want a dessert on the grill. And this is probably my favorite grilled dessert because it's so easy and absolutely delicious. There's our bread. I even have some old rolls sitting off to the side, so if I need some more in here, I can do that. That's what's great about this recipe. Now, let's get our banana custard ready. I have 3 bananas that are on the other side of great, and that's what you use for making things like banana bread and this banana bread pudding. Totally edible, just doesn't look great. And I just want to start by mashing these on this plate using my potato masher. I could do them in a bowl, but I'm going to use a bowl for the custard and I don't want to move things in and out of it. So this is just fine. This works great. Now for our custard, we are starting with 2 eggs. And I just want to break those down. We're also going to add a cup of whole milk, half a cup of brown sugar, half a cup of white sugar, about a teaspoon of vanilla, good pinch of kosher salt. Let's mix that all together. Get that sugar dissolved and distributed. And now for our bananas. I'm going to switch over to a spoon for this part because those bananas will just get stuck in the whisk. We really want to mix everything up here. Now, into our bread. And I like to get in there with my hands and really mix these together and squish everybody's to make sure that bread is all hydrated. Now I can feel that it is just a little bit wet, so I'm going to add some more bread, and I have some leftover Hawaiian rolls. So I'm just going to take these and tear them up and toss them in there. I'll do probably 3 and then we'll feel it and see how it's doing if we need to add more. And let's say it's too dry, you can just add a little bit of milk, maybe, I don't know, a couple tablespoons at a time. The main thing here is you want this bread to be saturated with all that custard and all those flavors. It is smelling very banana-y, which I love. I think we need a little bit more. We'll go with 2 more pieces right here. I think 1 more piece will do it. This also works with things like leftover hamburger buns, hot dog buns. That's why I love bread pudding. If you see any dry pieces, make sure they get submerged, because we're going to cover this with a towel and let it sit for 10 minutes before we fill our cast iron loaf pan. Now I'm going to use the cast iron loaf pan, but you could use anything you want as long as you can get it on the grill. A cast iron skillet, any sort of pan that can go on there, it'll work. So I have my cast iron loaf pan here and I've pre-greased it with some unsalted butter. We're just going to go ahead and fill this with our bread pudding mixture. And this is the kind of thing you want to press down into all those crevices. And get everybody pushed down in there into all the corners. We get some spillage over, don't worry about that. Now my kettle right now is at about 325 degrees, but really your kettle can probably be anywhere between 275 and say 350. You're just going to cook this until a toothpick inserted into the center or a knife blade comes out clean without any sort of the batter sticking to it. The other way to tell is with temperature. This will be done when in the center, it's at about 160 to 170 degrees. I'm gonna get this out on the kettle. I'm not gonna do any talking out there because it's just like into an oven, out of an oven. Get it back in here once it's done. And then we're gonna make a little bit of a maple cream to go with it. So here's our banana bread pudding in the cast iron loaf pan, and that's why I have these gloves on still, because cast iron will stay hot for quite a while. So we're gonna let this cool down in here for about 20 minutes. Then we're gonna have a taste. But first we're gonna make our maple cream sauce. Now to make this, really you can just use a whisk and your hand, but I've got a motorized one, so I'm gonna use that. And I've just got a nice deep sort of cup for this. Is a metal cup that's actually made for this. First thing I'm gonna add is about 8 ounces of heavy cream, heavy whipping cream. Next up, about 2 teaspoons of maple syrup. Then about a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. No, I'm not insane. We're adding about a half a teaspoon of vanilla. And I'm gonna go ahead and beat this in here with my little motorized whisk. And really, I'm not trying to get it to be whipped cream like those full stiff peaks. A little bit less than that. It's gonna be a little bit hard to see down in there. So you can see down in there how that's not quite whipped cream, but it's very stiff. You can actually kind of turn the spoon over and it's gonna hold itself there for a little bit. And of course, we've got a taste. This is perfect for our banana bread pudding. So I've got my bread pudding here, and I'm gonna go ahead and get a slice or two now. The end, because it's so crusty, I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna take the one next to it also. Oh, looks good. Still warm. This is going to be great. Let's get some of our maple cream on here, because why not? Let's get a good amount. Maybe a couple mint leaves just to make everything sort of pretty. There we go. Our banana bread pudding with our maple cream sauce. I think it's time to dive in and have a taste. So I'm gonna go here in the corner, get some with our cream. Cheers. That banana flavor makes this dessert. I mean, bread pudding on its own with just that sweetness is great, but the banana takes it to a whole new level. It's got structure, but it's not too dense. It's delicious. One thing I love to do with this is kind of put it in the refrigerator, and the next day, take some slices, fry them in a pan with a little bit of butter, then top them with some fruit or anything you want. Great breakfast and a second dessert.